Hello, everyone. Welcome. I see some familiar faces. Suzanne, how are you? Angie, good to see you.
Good to see you
Melissa,
too.
love that name. Carolina, Alexandra, Lucia. How are you ladies feeling today? Give me some love in the comments. Not love, give me how you're feeling today. I gotta tell you that today I woke up feeling so optimistic and kind of like turned on in the last week. I don't know about you, but it was really intense. And I'm going to tell you what happened because this is going to lead perfectly into our topic today. Today, what we're going to talk about is the 3 messaging mistakes that 90% of coaches make that repel premium clients. And I have a story for you. Angie says, so excited, love my days now that I'm a coach. So good. So good. So I got to tell you that last week, I was going through it. I was going through it because I went on a date, and I've been kind of seeing this guy for like on FaceTime only for 3 months. We were FaceTiming, and finally we met for like a real life date. And he lives in a different state. I live in a different state. So we were at an event, and we were just like in a different city. And, I had this, it was like, I thought this guy was like, just had all the things, right? I thought he was very premium, let's say. I thought he was very premium in all the ways. And you guys, you're not going to believe what happened. He got so upset that I didn't have sex with him on the first date. I was like, really? Is this for real? I'm like, oh no, this is just not premium behavior. This is not like masculine behavior. And this got me thinking about, sometimes we see people maybe you see coaches that like talk about it, but they're not being about it. Right? Or sometimes we think that we want to attract premium clients who look like they are premium, but really they're not showing up in a premium way. Right? And so what we're going to talk about today is really what is going to help you attract clients that not just pay you in a premium way, but also show up in a premium way where they feel like, that the relationship feels delicious. For me, it did not feel delicious to be in the presence of this person who was like being about it, talking about it and like saying that he was so masculine or whatever, but like really in the end, he was actually like really insecure, right? And so what's really important is that we are about it as coaches, right? We are about it, we be about it, we talk about what we want to offer, and then we actually deliver. And also that we attract clients who want to show up in a premium way, not just want to pay you in a premium way, right? Like pay you a premium price. Because what's the point of having clients that pay you a lot of money, but they're a pain in the ass? Like that's not what we want to do, right? And so today, let's talk about the 3 mistakes that 90% of coaches make that repel premium clients. And this is really important, you guys, because I know that you're out there creating content, but if you create content that doesn't resonate with the right people, then you're going to feel like that is landing on deaf ears. You're going to feel like no matter how content doesn't create clients. I want to make that clear. Content doesn't create clients. What creates clients is how deeply your content touches those people and how well you're creating a relationship through the words that you're using. Creating a relationship, you don't have to be in the DMs with people to create a relationship. I mean, I'm rarely in DMs with people. People still buy from me and they pay me $10,000, $11,000 for without even talking to me. Why? But it's because I'm able, my message is so clear and I'm able to create a relationship with them through my words. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some of the things we're going to talk about today. And so I also want to say that why do I talk about messaging so much? And I want you guys to understand the importance of what we're going to learn today. It's because when you have a clear message, you will be able to navigate any economic climate, any ups and downs in the world. Anything that feels uncertain for most people will not shake you, because your message is simply communicating the value of what you can offer to people in a really clear way. It's simply addressing the problem that people have and knowing how to articulate what you can offer in order to solve that problem. So in any economic climate, if you know how to articulate your message, you're going to survive. You're going to not just survive, but you're going to thrive, because not many people understand that the way that we thrive in any situation in terms of the economic world, like climates or whatever, is simply by being of value and solving a problem that people still value. And all of you, even if you don't help people with business stuff or making money stuff, if you are the one person who knows how to position the problem that you solve in the minds of people, no matter what the circumstances are, people are going to come to you. You're not going to be straddled. You're not going to like run out of words. You're going to know exactly how to be relevant. And so that is why this is why it's so important for me to teach messaging, because it's the most important pillar of your business. It really helps you connect with the right people, speaking to the right problems, and clearly articulate how you can help them. And when you speak to premium clients, that's when things get even juicier. That's when your business thrives even more, because you're speaking to a higher caliber person. Okay. So we're going to start by defining what premium clients are. Okay. And as I said before, a premium client is not just somebody who has money, but is somebody who shows up in a premium way. They're committed, they're coachable, they're in integrity. They know that they're not dependent on you to create results. They're not trying to be saved. They are self-sufficient. They, of course they need help. They're willing to ask for support, but they know that you're not somebody who needs to save them from their circumstances. And so I want you all to notice, who have you been speaking to? If you were just to ask yourself that question, have you been speaking to somebody who follows in that category of premium client, who is self-sufficient, who is coachable, who's in integrity, who wants to ask for help, who can ask for help, but it's not dependent on you or wanting to be saved, essentially, right? And so the first mistake that 90% of coaches make that repel premium clients, I want you to write this down, is you are speaking to the disempowered version of your client. What does this look like? This is when you speak to people. These coaches do this often. When you hear about, okay, I need to solve a problem in people's lives, what you interpret is, I need to speak to people who are in a survival state, who are in survival mode. I need to speak to somebody who maybe is in the place that I was at 3 years ago. And maybe where you were 3 years ago was not a very empowered place. Maybe where you were I know for a fact that like me 6 years ago, I was not an ideal client. And I say this often. If you heard me say this before, I want you to hear me say it again. It's really important that we clean up the message so that we're not speaking to people who are in survival mode, because we perpetuate their victimhood. If we keep on honing in, oh, you're broke, you don't have money, or you've tried everything in the past, nothing has worked, you don't know what you're doing. Like, it feels like you ran out of options, and like, it feels like you don't even know where to go. Like, you need the last solution and the magic pill to solve your problems. Like, that kind of language is speaking to disempowered people, because they're looking to be saved. And so when we perpetuate that unconsciously, and I'm not saying that coaches do this consciously, it's just that majority of the marketing and the branding in the world is based on fear, right? Is based on how can companies manipulate a consumer. And so this is how we have seen it done. And so we subconsciously adopt that way. And that's why majority of coaches don't make more than $50,000 a year, because they struggle to attract clients who are willing to pay them a higher price and who want to continue working with them just because they choose to, not because they need to. This is why I want to elevate you. I want to support you guys to elevate into the category, the 10%, the 1% in the industry where you are really attracting those people who are in an empowered state. And so how do we know if we're speaking to somebody who is in a disempowered state? Now, I want you to do an audit. When you think about your clients, how do you see them? Do you see them as indecisive? Do you see them as stuck? Do you see them as broke? Do you see them as just not in an empowered state? And I want you to think about this. Maybe you don't have to say in the comments if you feel this way, but sometimes we do. I mean, I can tell you that even just last year, a year ago, I still had the story that clients needed my presence in order to make a decision. So I kept on doing sales calls, and I had so many sales calls in my calendar. Right? Not a bad problem to have. So great. Everyone was converting, everyone was a yes. So things were working, quote unquote. But I still had this belief that people needed me in order to be fully empowered and decisive. And that was limiting me in my business. I was still attracting people who needed me to be present for them to make a decision. You guys get that? You right now have a belief about your client that is seeing them is in a disempowered lens. And I want you to think about it. And I want you to share in the comments if you can find it. Who's going to be courageous? Think about it. What are ways in which you see your clients right now that may not be empowered? Maybe they need a lot of hand holding. Maybe they're indecisive, or maybe they need a lot of education. Oh, Angie says they're struggling. They're struggling. Ooh, see, seems like such a oh, it's just a fact. What do you mean? Why? How are they struggling? If we see that they're struggling, then we're going to attract people who are struggling. Any and all pain points. We're going to talk about pain points here, Crystal. That's good. They're struggling. They're like all the pain points that they're experiencing. So it's really important that if you want to attract, listen, even if you're not thinking about raising your prices, if you want to attract people who are just going to pay you whatever you're charging right now, and who show up in a premium way, that you speak to people who are in an empowered state, who know that the future can be different, who have a problem, and they have feelings, and it doesn't feel very nice, and it's like, they're in their experience that they're in, but who are in a place in their life where they see that the future can be different. They're not wanting to be saved. They know that they're the ones in control of their life and that they can take action towards it. And this is what most coaches don't know how to do. And this is why and it's not that you are doing it wrong because you don't know. It makes total sense that you don't know how to do this, because we're not taught as entrepreneurs how to do this in a way that doesn't perpetuate victimhood in people. We absorb messaging that is fear-based. So that's how we operate naturally. It's not your fault. It's just that it doesn't create the result that you want. Okay. And this is why I help my clients clarify their message so that they can attract premium clients. In fact, I was just on a call with my client, Natty, today, who joined Magnetize and Monetize in June. And we clarify her message. We created her entire brand script, and she doesn't sell business or anything like that. She helps women who want just to become wild women, who are very successful in their careers, but now they're just, everything else in their lives is very average. And we created this super crisp, delicious message that speaks to the empowered version of them. And that's very, very clear. So you don't have to sell something that's like tangible, like business stuff or whatever, in order to have a very clear message. Okay, so let me look at what you're saying. Laura says, need to rise above their circumstances, which I thought was a good thing to help with. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I think that there's borderline disempowered vibes in there, right? Crystal says, yes, not wanting to be saved. Yeah. So notice that if you think your clients need to be saved, you're going to have people show up who need to be saved, right? And this is why when we clarify your message inside Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, we make sure that you have, that is clear, that is empowered, that has your flavor, that has your vibe, but also that's speaking to the right people. And when you do, what happens is, I know that all of you think, oh my God, Juliana, I need to bring more followers and more subscribers and more people to my audience. Everyone is so worried with audience growth. This is another mistake people make. This is not part of the 3, but I got to tell you, everyone's so worried with audience growth. But guys, if I gave you 1,000 clients that were the perfect fit for you, if they looked at your message, at your Instagram, would they want to buy from you? Is your message clear? Is it speaking to the right people? Would they be like, what is she selling? What is he selling? That's cute, but I don't know. Guaranteed you, those 100% of those people won't convert. And I want you to not need to have a bigger audience, because right now, all of you, no matter whether you started right now, like this year, last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, every single person in here is sitting on $100,000 worth of clients. I say that often, and because I see it. I see it in my world. I see it in my clients' worlds. There are people are ready. The best people that can buy from you are people who already know you. If you want new followers, that's fine. You can attract more people. That's totally fine. It's not a problem, but that takes long. It takes longer for them to get acquainted with you, to get to know you, to get to trust you. And so that's going to take longer than if you focus on the people who are already in your audience, that already are there, even if it's just your friends and family. Think about what you would need to say to be interested in having, like your friends and family, having their connections reach out to you. Could be like, oh, share, imagine that you write a really epic post and you have a family member or a friend that you're like, they would never be a client. It's fine. But if you write a really epic post that really touches people and they know somebody like the person that you wrote about, they're going to share with that person. That's when you know your message is really is landing. You don't need to have so many followers and people. That is another thing that most people, this is just because we have such an lack mentality. We're always thinking about what we don't have instead of thinking of what we do have. And I want to train you and remind you every time that we're together that this is not the real story. You have already so much. You have already so much material, so many assets that you can use, but you need to start using them. And you need to start seeing them as enough. Angie says, gut punch, I'm sitting on 100,000 worth. Yeah, you are. Every single person is. You're just not speaking to the right people. And so what I was saying is that when you have a really clean, empowered message, all these people are going to start showing up. All these people are going to be like, oh, who are you? And you're like, oh my God, you? What? Oh, got it. Okay. And you will feel like they might have known her, but they were just always there. You just weren't speaking to them because you were seeing them as disempowered, struggling, whatever, right? Because you had that idea, and that is just absolutely not true. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on to mistake number 2, which is you're unconsciously creating codependence with your language. Unconsciously create codependence with your language. Another thing nobody talks about. This is why I have a job. This is why my clients are able to create epic results, because nobody really teaches us this. So let me show you what this looks like. This is where the only marketing that we were ever taught is kind of like the bro marketing way, right? Like the old school rules in marketing that teach scarcity and false urgency and that create codependent feelings in order to drive conversions. This is where the whole like urgency to buy now, don't miss out, you got to do it now, focus on the pain, focus on the struggle, right? That is creating codependency in your clients. And most people don't know they're doing this, but they're doing it. And here's what I want to tell you. So we're going to unpack this, but hear me out here. Premium clients think differently, right? They're not thinking as a codependent. They're not thinking of you as their mom, okay? Premium clients are aware that they have a problem, but they're not motivated by fear tactics in order to buy. They actually get put off by it. And I know because so many of you here feel it when people pull fear on you. You're like, ugh. Right? You are educated enough, you are sophisticated enough in your mind because you are not you're not disempowered. You're not disempowered. So fear doesn't work for you. So if we use fear, we literally are repelling clients. Premium clients are motivated by where they're going because they crave possibility. They're not motivated by just getting out of the pain that they're in right now. If you just speak to the pain and the pain right now, and the pain right now, and the pain right now, you forget to speak about where they're going, where they can go to, that's gonna break the communication line between you two. So premium clients are different. They're motivated by where they're going. They know that this is temporary, that this is not who they are. They know that who they are is so much greater, so much bigger. And they're just in this moment right now, and there's a problem, and they're not looking to be saved. They know that they're empowered enough to take action and go for it, right? Premium clients are not looking to be saved because they know they're sovereign and they know that they can make decisions, right? Maybe sometimes they don't trust themselves all the way, but that's your job as a coach and in your marketing to reinforce the belief in themselves so that they trust themselves. And this is something that I do really well in my marketing. And this is why I attract really empowered people without talking to them. It's because I solidify people's belief in themselves just with my words. If you look at the page of Magnetize and Monetize, I'm going to share it here so that you guys can see. And by the way, I got to tell you that I'm giving you my tricks here, my secrets. So I just dropped the page for the application for the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. And I want you to notice, study that page and study the videos that I did at the bottom of the page, because when I shifted my perspective from seeing people as unable to make decisions on their own to being able to make decisions on their own, you will see in the video right at the bottom how I spoke to that person who still had maybe questions about whether this was the right fit for them or not, who still was kind of wondering, but who knew at the core that they could trust themselves. And when I started speaking to people like that, they literally, so many of them came and they don't need me to be there. And so what I want you to notice in your language, and I'm going to give you an example of my message and maybe the opposite bro marketing codependent vibe so that you guys can see the difference. But what is really important is that, yes, we speak to a problem, but we don't have to stay stuck in a pain point. And we can't say to people, hey, you need me in order to solve this. Otherwise, your life is never going to work. And you're dumb if you don't buy now, because this is your last chance. That's not going to land with premium clients. They'll be like, ugh, gross. That doesn't feel delicious, right? So I'm very clear that I know when I speak, my message is very clear. Notice how you feel in your body when you hear this. I know that you want to be recognized as the top coach in your niche. And in order to do that, you need a marketing message that attracts premium clients. But the problem is that you're so close to what you do and you're so good at it that you just find it hard to articulate it into words. And that makes you feel undervalued and overlooked. That is how I communicate my message, right? I am not saying you're doing it wrong. The only way you're going to get there is by following my step-by-step formula to guarantee results, that guarantees results. And if you don't, you're going to be there where you're at in the same place next year. So you need to buy now in order to change your life and finally just be out of where you're at. That feels do you notice the difference? I'm using pressure. I'm using urgency, false urgency. And I'm not just speaking into the problem. The problem is simply, hey, I know you want this. I know you see yourself as this person. I know that you have these gifts, but this is what is in the way. And this is how it's making you feel. I can help you. You guys see the difference? It's cleaner. It speaks to an actual problem, and I don't have to use fear-based tactics in order to have people buy from me. Another way in which we do this, very subtly, and coaches do this, create codependency, is blaming other coaches, blaming other, using blame in your marketing. How do I say this? You want to show people hey, it's not your fault that this is happening, but you don't have to throw people under the bus, right? That's also not very delicious. It's not very premium, and it's going to attract people who are unconsciously wanting to be saved from a different coaching relationship. So for me, when I pre-qualify my clients to make sure that they're the right fit, I make sure, and even in my content, I also tell them, tell me, what is your experience working with coaches in the past? And if they start blaming other people, it's nothing has ever worked. So that's one thing that I don't say in my message. You have joined programs, but nothing has ever worked. And you're wondering what is wrong, right? That is going to attract somebody who doesn't take responsibility for their own results and who keeps buying courses and programs and doesn't actually apply or get a transformation, and is blaming it on the courses instead of saying, wait, let me apply this here. And so we don't realize that sometimes we have these things that we think are justifying people's problems, but actually they're justifying their codependence and their victimhood. Is this landing? Give me a 1 in the comments if you guys are seeing this. Angie says 1, Laura says 1. Okay, let me catch up with the comments. Stop doing this types of posts. You could have us stop doing these type of posts. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's just what are you going to offer at the end? Like, how are you positioning the whatever they need to stop doing? I mean, I could say like, stop doing this, like looking to grow your audience when your message isn't clear. Like I can, that's not a problem. I noticed that you give advice without saying that we need you. Exactly. Notice that. Listen, I think is the most delicious and aligned decision for the future of your business, for the lifelong future of your business, to work with me, because what I teach you is going to serve you for the rest of your life and is your decision. You get to decide. You don't need me. It's just going to be much easier and much faster if we work together, right? You can spend 5 years trying to learn this stuff, or who knows how long, and trial and error and this and that, or you can work with me and we can knock it out in 1 hour. It's just as simple as that, right? That I give you freedom of choice because it's true, right? You could just go and trial her out. But if you really want the real gist, like, let's work together. And I'm always going to say that. Okay, let's go with, so what I want you guys to notice is, are you creating any codependent language in your marketing? Now, I also don't want you to hear me say, don't say that this is the time to work together to your people. I'm very clear. I'm like, this is the time for us to work together. Here's why. This is the most important thing that you can do right now. I believe that clarifying your message is the most important thing that we can do, that you can do right now, because it's literally going to help you create results much faster than anything. It's the fastest way for you to create a shift in your business, in attracting the right types of people, in selling your offer with more ease. Is the best thing that we can do. It's super easy. And so I believe that we need to work together like ASAP. In fact, go ahead and apply for Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. You get $1,000 off if you apply within the next 2 weeks. And so apply, let's go, join the program ASAP. And I mean that, and I say that, but like literally you get to decide if this is what's right for you. So you got to sell with conviction, and you got to go and tell people why. You got to sell yourself on why this is the most important thing, but also they get to decide, right? Like you got to give people their the sovereignty back. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about, and I want to hear if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. And the last one, okay, this is a really common one that I see most coaches do. And this happens when you're the type of coach that doesn't want to exclude people. So you're like, I just don't want to leave anyone out. I don't want to, I can help so many people, but I don't want to leave anyone out. And this is what I call the Oprah Syndrome. Okay. You know how Oprah in her show goes like, you get a car and 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 you get one and you get one. Everyone gets one. Woohoo. Everyone gets so excited. Everyone is included, right? But premium clients don't see things that way. They're not trying to get a gift when they buy an offer. They overlook offers that seem vague, that can apply to everyone, because they don't see themselves as average. They don't see themselves as the person next door. They don't see themselves as a stranger on the internet. They don't see themselves as I'm just anyone, right? Premium clients they see themselves as unique. Like, I have a unique problem, right? Like I've done all this work. I've gotten this far. These things have worked, but this is still not working, right? I've gotten to a point where things are here, but now I have a new problem. That's a premium client, how they think. And so if you're like, I can help anyone at any point, they'll be like, no, I'm not at just any point with anyone, right? So let me give you an example. Imagine that I was here saying, I can help anyone with their message, and I was inviting you to come to Magnetize and Monetize. You'll probably be like, okay, but who is it? Like people who are starting out, people who maybe have had some clients, people who are like 100K months, like where? I'm like, anyone, just come join. Like, how would you feel? Would you feel like, oh, great, that seems like the total right fit for me? That's very clear. Like you pass. And he says, I will pass. No way. Right. You'll be like, okay, sounds like you can help with this, but it's not quite landing with me that this is right for me, because you're doing the Oprah syndrome. Everybody gets a seat at the table. Everybody gets to come into the group, or everybody gets to, right, be in the container, whether it's one-on-one or not, right? So what is important is that you create the criteria of where your person needs to be at in order to be the right fit for you. Okay. And this doesn't have to be, they have to be 47 years old and a mom, or 27 years old and like a boy, like whatever. It doesn't have to be anything about demographics. It's just at what point in their journey are they at that makes sense for them to join, because you help them with this specific problem that they have. And so it can work for anyone. Seems inclusive, but it's really actually excluding people. And so it's really important that I was actually coaching a client on this, right? Because she was saying like, oh, it can be for corporate people and for whatever, like the person, like it can be for corporate women or for moms, or it can be for this, or people who are already coaches. Like she had like such a long list of people that it could work with. And it's fine if the person, the demographic is very, like there's a variety. Like I don't work just with people in a certain age gap, right? Or age bracket. I mean, my clients are from all races, all parts of the world, different like niches. There's so much variety, but what everybody has in common is that they want to clarify their message to attract premium clients. What they are really good at is their craft, but they don't know how to articulate it in a way that really converts and that is clear, right? It doesn't matter what niche they're in. I also don't care if people have made $1 million, or if people have made $2,000 a month or $5,000 or whatever. It's all about, have you help people? If I give you 10 clients, are you ready to help them? That is my qualifier, right? Have you coached enough clients to know that you're good at what you do, right? Or that you can help somebody, that you can help them get a breakthrough, right? You don't have to have charged millions of dollars or even anything. I can help people who haven't charged a thing, but they are really, or are charging $200 a session, right? Or whatever. It doesn't matter what it matters to me, because I've seen it. Like Kate, one of my clients, she was charging $200 a session, and now she's charging $10,000 for her packages, and she keeps doubling her income every year. Why? Because she was really good at what she did, but she didn't know how to articulate it, right? And so, and she was really, she already had a lot of clients before, right? And so for me, that's the qualifier. And I want you guys to think about what that is for your people. Where do they need to be at in their journey in order for them to be like, yes, that's where I'm at, right? Like, let's say that you help somebody with weight loss. Have they lost some pounds? And maybe they just want help with the last 10, 15, 30, whatever, right? Are they brand new to it, right? Like, where do they need to be at for your weight loss program to really speak to them? If you're helping somebody with finding their soulmate, if you're a relationship coach or a dating coach, like I am really loving the dating analogies. So we're here because I'm all in the dating world. Then think about it. What is it? Where do I need to be at to be the right fit for your program? Is it more for divorced women, or is it for women who are just trying to find their first ever partner? Maybe women who are high achievers in business or in career, but like their life, the love life is like a whole thing. Or is it for women who like totally have been married before and just want to find another partner again, right? So think about what that is for you. And I'm curious to hear if you have any questions. Since I don't have a call after, I'm open to getting some questions answered. Do you think that you can help me clarify my message even if my audience speaks French? I have helped several clients who have audiences in French, in German, and in Spanish. So absolutely, we'll have clients who it's the same, they're the same principles. And all you have to do is adapt them to the language that you use. Okay, so what I want to offer you guys while I wait for questions coming in is, if this resonated with you, if you know that these are things that you want support around, I want to invite you to apply to the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. In 3 months, we clarify your message, we elevate your offer so that you can attract premium clients. And I want to tell you that what the results my clients get are not average, because we don't do things in an average way in my program. You get multidimensional support. What does that mean? you get my strategic brain. We're going to clean up your offer, elevate the quality of clients you attract, like who is the right person for you. We're going to work on the language, the copy. We review your literally Monday through to Friday. We review your copy, your posts, everything. But I also teach you, how do you distribute that content? Where do you show up to attract these people? And then as you are attracting them, or as you're showing up, how do you make sure that you pre-qualify them so that, and pre-motivate them so that when they show up to your calls, they feel really empowered. They already love you. They like you. They're like, I've already seen your stuff. I've gone through your process. Let's talk about details, right? Like, so the call feels so much lighter. And as you're offering, you're making an offer, which is probably priced at the highest price that you've ever charged before. You're going to have a lot of fears about what if people don't buy, what if people think it's too expensive, what if they say you need to think about it, all of that. And I teach you my process to support them in making that decision. I teach you my soulful sales process for you to feel really confident in your ability to hold space for that person and know that they're not going to call you the next day if they say yes and be like, actually, I regret it, I'm backing out. Like, that happens to so many coaches, and it's like not a thing for me. I mean, really, I can't even think of one time that has ever happened to me or my clients, because we really don't use fear and scarcity and urgency in the sales process either. We help people really make this decision from a really empowered place, and not just be able to pay you feeling really great about it, but also show up being really committed to your program. So it's a really multidimensional support, because you get the mindset, you get the strategy, and then you also get the energetics. I have my energy coach come in, clean up your energy so that all the success can be, and obviously if you desire, so that all the success can really land with so much more grace, so that we can clean up the areas where there's resistance that doesn't need to be there, and you can attract people with more ease. So I want to invite you to apply. And the advantage of applying right now is that you get $1,000 off, number one. And number two, you get instant access to all the modules. You can start making your money back as soon as you enter and watch the modules. That's how most people make their money back, like right away before the program starts. They already make their money back. I give you module one, a way for you to start attracting clients and getting those first few clients in. It's very simple, and there's no cold DMing, there's none of that. And it's just like the best time to join, because you're going to have time to sit with everything and let it sink into your bones. So the best time to apply and to join is now. We already have people joining for the next cohort. So I want to invite you to click that link. Did I send it? I don't know if I sent it. Okay, I think I sent it. It's right there. Read the page. Also study it. Notice what I'm doing, and then hit the apply button, and then I will read your application. And if you're the right fit, you get an email from me saying you are the perfect fit for this. Let's go. If you're not the most perfect fit, I don't want you to be in the program because I really want you to have the most amazing experience. And I will very transparently say what the next steps are, what other resources I recommend for you to be ready to join. And I'm very honest, I'm very transparent. I rather have less clients than have clients who are not going to get the most out of the program. It's nothing, you don't waste anything if you apply and then you don't get an email. You just get a response on the truth of, okay, what do you need to do in order to be ready? Okay. So not interested in you joining if I don't feel like you're the perfect fit, because I want people who going to have amazing testimonials at the end. Okay. Maybe you can apply for the next round, and I'll let you know also in that email. So make sure that you apply there, and let me get the questions. Oh, and the last thing I forgot to say, before I get to your questions, is that when you apply, you're going to fill out the application, and there's going to be a $500 deposit required. Here's why. We get so many applications that I only can read the people who are actually committed. So you get $500, a deposit that you put down for $500. I read your application. If I feel like you're a great fit, then that's going to be applied toward the investment. If I feel like you're not the right fit, of course, it will be refunded. So you have nothing to lose. Okay. Let me go to your comments. Lucia says, this so resonates with me. I am helping working moms with anxiety, and in some groups, and I'm in some groups, but it's such a pity party at times, which messes up with my message. So I guess my question is, where do I find other people who want to change and are willing to pay premium? So here's what I want to offer that this is a great question, because sometimes we let our environment dictate our behavior. And what is most important is in the places where you might find that there's pity parties, you don't have to either succumb to that or obey to that or participate in that. You get to be the lighthouse. You get to be the lighthouse that doesn't think about speaking to those people. You think about the person that is the right person. You could literally speak, you could be in the same group, but speak to a different type of person. They're gonna wake up. They're gonna be like, oh, finally, somebody who's not in this pity party. I guarantee, Lucia, that you are not the only person who thinks this is a fucking pity party here. What? Bring those people to you. Everybody can have a pity party, but what if your message speaks to empower people? What would happen if you're consistent? You're consistent and you show up in those groups with a different angle that is very different from 99% of what everyone else is saying. That is innovative. That is different. That is going to help you stand out. And that is how you create where most people don't see an opportunity. That is where you bring the right people along. Okay. Really great question. Kristen says, I'm scared to join because I've hit sales and marketing obstacles in my business that I haven't been able to figure out. I recognize this could be really useful for me, but not feeling like it's the right time. Okay, you get to decide. I would just think that if you have sales and marketing obstacles, why wouldn't you join? This is exactly what will help you solve those obstacles. Like that is what the program is for, right? I always think about the reason why we say we can do something is the exact reason why we must. I heard that from a friend. And it's so true. Every time we think, oh, I'm not going to do it, like I shouldn't do it because I feel like these are all my excuses. Those are the reasons to do it. Those are the exact problems that we solve inside Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. So the exact thing that you say that you need help with, that you're struggling with, is what we help you with. Kristen says, haha, I knew I was typing us up. See, it's like when our stories seem so believable in our brains and then we like say them and it's like, oh wait, that makes no sense. All right. Awesome. All right, my loves. Well, that was super fun. We had an extra little bit of longer training today. Normally it's 30 minutes, but I just wanted to stick around and say hello to all of you. Was that helpful? Give me a 1 in the comments. Give me a 1 in the comments and give me, how do you feel? How do you feel right now? Tori says 1, empowered. Look at all these empowered. I love it. I love that both of you said empowered and without even talking to each other. Amazing, uplifted, excited to review my messaging and make sure that it hits these. Empowered, informed. Oh my God, I love the feeling of empowered because I felt like that's how I woke up today. I was like, let's fucking go. So good. So the investment for the program is, if you pay in full, so with the $1,000 off, I think it's 10K. Yeah, it's 10K with the $1,000 off. Or there's a 5-month payment plan, which is, I think $23 per month for 5 months. If you wait, it goes by, it's going to go up by $1,000. Somebody just asked in the private chat. I love your language. I'm excited to learn these strategies. All right, my loves, I will see you next week for another amazing training. Go crush it, and I'll see you soon. Mwah. Bye.